Lastly, locally grown foods are looking to bigger impact, looking towards bigger businesses. Basically, and I don't know, I feel like it started over the course of 5-10 years. Everyone's shopped local, and then it kind of got into agriculture. People wanted locally, between farm share or growing their own. In the last several years, it's really gotten up, and now it's, for a lot of people, it's turned into a business, and how it's really, they're looking no longer to do it for the mini stands. They're looking to like go to like the produce stores and like really go big. Locally, I mean, there's a lot of great food shares. There's a lot of great organizations that are available. I mean, luckily my parents are Italian and they have a lot of stuff in their backyard, so that's my food share. But I mean, there's a lot of good ones that I know. Like our friend Jess is a part of one. Like there's a lot of people I know that are part of different food shares, and I think this makes complete sense.
Oh, I completely agree. I was a member of a food share in Erie, PA, where I was before this for 2 summers, and it was overwhelming at times. Like I remember the first summer I paid, it was like $200 for a half share for the entire summer. And every single week on Thursday, I would go and pick up a bag of vegetables. And it's, of course, like seasonal what they're. So at one point in time, it was like 3 types of. It was like going with your reusable shopping bag and having 2 of them completely full with vegetables for $200. And it started in July and went all the way to Thanksgiving, the one that I had. Like at one point in time, I was bringing home like a dozen ears of corn every single week, and it was overwhelming. So my second year, which of course was like during part of the time I moved here, like I had gone down to a quarter share. So the one thing I wish was that more places in Western Mass cater to the smaller portions. Because again, as someone that does not have children, it's too much food for me.
Yeah.
I think that more people get involved. It was, of smaller portions.
But $200 is so reasonable, even if you were to share that with.
I can spend $200 in Costco before I even walk through the door.
Oh yeah, I moved over the weekend and was like replenishing my food supply and spent almost $200 just trying to get my fridge up to par.
Yeah. And produce in general is always more expensive.
Oh, and it was amazing, like the amount of like summer squash, zucchinis, the corn. Yeah. At one point in time, it was $5 for like a Xerox box full of tomatoes. And then I had taken that and figured out how to make salsa and like tomato sauce. But the amount, and I ate so healthy because of all the food that was available. It was fantastic. And there was also, I remember my ex and I used to play the game, like, what the heck vegetable is that sort of thing? Because occasionally something would come and I'd have no idea what it was. Like, we'd be just staring.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the card game. I didn't.
No, like, what the heck kind of vegetable? Like, I remember there was one, I was like, what is this? And he was like, brain tumor? So sometimes you're just like, I have no idea what this is.
I've never participated in one, but I think what has always steered me away is knowing the amount of.
Yeah.
And my husband doesn't really eat vegetables.
It's probably,
So I would be in that same boat,
I mean, it's funny. We were talking about how they're looking to get bigger business, but at the same time, a lot of the local farms, I feel like they've been growing in business in and of themselves. Like they're now, especially locally and maybe within Western Mass, maybe within the country, a lot of bigger organizations are actually not. They're actually specifically going to local markets for food. So hospitals and what do the articles say? Hospitals, schools, restaurant chains, grocery stores are actually going to their local markets instead of going through mass distributors, which A is great for the economy, but also healthier for the people eating food.
I know at one time, and I know there's at least one in Western Mass. When I was in upstate New York, and then again when I was in Erie, Pennsylvania, there were Wegmans. And they actually boast that all of the vegetables are locally grown. Like, they're very big on finding a local farmer, which is so nice.
Yeah.
Because, it's the big guy giving back. And then at one point in time when I was in Connecticut, we, of course, had Stu Leonard's, which was a locally grown, locally grown farmer that turned into a supermarket because he was so successful in what he did. It's also the only supermarket I'd ever been to where they had, like, a petting zoo with cows outside of the supermarket.
Wait,
really?
Yeah.
They actually did my flowers for my wedding.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal.
Which is a little funny because they're like on Route 1, so you're like, please don't let the cow ever get out. Please don't let the cow. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Audrey, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Corey, thank you for reading the topics. You did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, I was waiting for Comcast.
We will be right back. We are actually talking to Jill for the Springfield Jazz Festival that's happening in a couple weeks, so stay tuned.